Good afternoon. This is the video newsletter for buysellshort.com for Sunday, June 14th. Back from a nice, relaxing vacation and getting ready to hit some more home runs out of the park. Was a great week, even though I was gone. The couple of plays I said that we should buy last week ended up being big winners during the week, so you can't argue with that. But let's jump right into the index charts. Here we're looking at the Dow 15-minute chart. Over the last week, we've kind of stair-stepped slightly higher. If we flip over to the daily chart, you can see we have now flipped into another small rectangle formation. We had the same setup back for the entire month of May, so we could quite possibly see that happen throughout this month. We've got quarter end window dressing coming up, and we have a lot of mutual fund managers who were morons, were bashing the rally for the last 3 or 4 months, who have been short or not in the market, and who over the next couple of weeks will be needing to manipulate their portfolios so that when they send out their performance to the sheeple, they're able to say, hey, we were actually in the market, we're really good, even though they weren't. So would expect lots of window dressing over the next couple of weeks. As you can see, over the past week, market kept testing that 200-day moving average and then rebounding late in the day. Whenever you see action like that, that's mutual funds coming in and fund managers coming in and grabbing up dips. Also, this weekend we had Barron's come out and bash the rally, say it's overextended. That's actually really good for us near term. Barron's is one of those things, it's a contrarian indicator. Usually, when they're very bullish, the top is in. When they're very bearish, the bottom's in. Right now, like many people, they say the rally is BS, so odds are it probably continues. That's not to say the market is not extremely overbought, but as long as we've got people fighting the trend will continue to move higher. Support right now is at 8,600, and then below that, the 50-day moving average at 8,300. Volume has actually started to pick up a little, which is a good sign. All the other indicators are pretty overbought, especially stochastics, but that does not mean we cannot remain overbought. And as long as there are shorts out there willing to be squeezed, that is our recipe for at least holding higher up here. Essentially, over the last couple of weeks, the market's been pretty flat, but that's a perfect market for scalp trading. Over the next couple of weeks, however, I would expect a lot of volatility, somewhat like we saw over the last week. Big intraday moves of a couple of hundred points. They slap it down on low volume and then they come rushing back in to paint the stock. So more of the same there. But let's flip over to the dollar. I mentioned before I went away on vacation that the dollar was looking very nice for a bounce here, a break over the 20-day exponential or a close over that level, 80.61, and we should see a rally back to the head and shoulders breakdown, which is typical after a head and shoulders breakdown. The bounce usually takes it back up to this area, and for that reason, I would expect oil and gold to see some weakness over the next few days. Dollar chart looks pretty damn strong here. Stochastics up through 50. ADX looking like it wants to go up through 50. So I think the dollar's got a little bit of legs here in the near term. And as such, oil, which hit my $73 target last week, could see a pullback to the mid 60s in the next few days. Still, even though we're expecting a pullback in oil, the alternative energy stocks have been on fire over the last few days, and I think that momentum is really going to pick up this week. ACPW is one such play. What really lit these stocks up last week, Capstone CPST, was up 100%, and that has gotten momentum back into these stocks. We've got a very nice cup and handle formation on this stock. Breakout is a move above 70 cents. Would look to add this one around the 66 cents and under area. First target is 80 cents and then $1 plus. ADX is pretty strong, stochastics are pretty strong, and this is a companion to BCON, which saw a very nice breakout over the last couple of days. We've got a golden cross coming tomorrow. This was a gapper play add on Friday, and a move over $1.04 should just set this one on fire. Next resistance is $1.20 to $1.40 on this stock, and we could see that tomorrow. Just given the way the stock was trading late on Friday. ACPW is a play on Beacon because, in case you didn't know, ACPW is actually the company that came up with the flywheel technology. BCON, or they owned shares in BCON way back in the day. BCON was a spinoff. So, you know, BCON takes off, they're going to come after ACPW, in my opinion. So that's the reason we're positioning in this one ahead of time. ALTI is another alternative energy battery play. Had a big sell off late in May when they announced financing. They sold a bunch of shares at $1.17. But as we've played many, many times over the last couple of months, when stocks do financing, they sell off and then they bounce back big. The bounce back has begun in ALTI, in my opinion. We've got support at 89 cents. Target is a move to at least the 200-day moving average at $1.27. Would look to add this one anywhere in the 105 to 110 area, and this one should go pretty big this week. We've got a break of the 50 level on RSI. We're about to get a positive MACD cross. We had a positive ADX cross on Friday, and stochastics are coming up and triggering a buy signal here as well. And check out the on-balance volume spike. This will show up in the stock price and should be a very nice week on this one with sector momentum. Go back to a couple of our other plays. ACLS had that breakout last week, and then it's been slowly bled over the last few days all the way back to its 20-day exponential. Actually, let us check just a little tighter view. We've seen this kind of setup before. We have a breakout, we go back, we test the 20-day exponential, and then we go boom. So hopefully this is the week we go boom here on this one, and we make a run back to the 70-cent area. LTRX is another one of our laggard tech stocks. It did attempt a breakout last week and then has just been slowly walked down over the last few days back to support. There are very, very few stocks like this trading at their lows at this stage in the rally, which makes this one very, very attractive down here in my opinion. Target is still a move to 65 cents plus, and we'll probably be looking to add some more to this one early this week. Stochastics back down into oversold territory, and this one is just coiled for a big move in the near term. DSEO, we nibbled this one a week ago, but I'm loving the setup here again. This one is very close to going boom as well. Remember SQNM, it took a little bit of patience on that one, and then it went up about 50% for us. DSEO has the same kind of setup here. Breakout is a close above the 110 area. Would look to continue to accumulate this stock under $1. Stops at 80 cents, which is, unless there's very bad news, I doubt this one's even going to go there, but stops at 80 cents. Would look to load this one under $1, and I think a big move is coming here. RSI has flatlined, the MACD has flatlined, ADX has flatlined, and check out stochastics. Nice little flat line here above 20. The last time we saw a flat line was before that big 50% move. So I think this one is coiling for a very nice move this week, and this should be DSCO's week. TWER, this was another one of our laggard tech stocks, was trading at its lows. Like I said, there was very few stocks like this in the market. Finally broke out on Friday, closed above its 200-day moving average, and over the last several weeks, when we've seen stocks move like this, close in the 90-cent area, the next trading day usually sees a nice spike to 1, so we could see this one move to $1.10 plus early Monday morning, so keep a very close eye on this one. And again, LTRX, we've been patiently watching this one. This should do what TRW or TWER has done with a little patience. Quick mention on AFT. This was one of the stocks I said was going to go last week when I was on vacation. Target was 40 cents. Hit 41 cents. 75% gain. Can't argue with that, can you? Pullbacks would look to add this one on any dips under 30 cents. So even though we didn't have too many plays last week, we had a bunch of monster winners. And this week should be no different. We've got some very nice setups, and it should be a very nice week for the newsletter. That is it for the video. See you guys in the chat room tomorrow. Good night.